Hey there, YouTube knife people. This is Earth Particle with another knife review. This time we are going to be talking about the Axial Gear Shift OTF. That's this guy right here. Hey, he's got a little picture here. The blade doesn't quite match up, but yeah, a little picture here. So anyway, we're going to talk about the Axial Shift OTF. What you're seeing here is the bundle. The bundle includes a little tool set with different size Torx bits and a driver. I'll go over a couple of these real quick. So I had to actually pull this out ahead of time because of that, it just fires across the room. Anyway, so what you do is, right, you can close this guy up and you can stick your bit in here. You put your Torx bits in there, and you can use this as a tool. I just have been having a heck of a time getting the thing, first of all, open. But I don't even know which way I'm opening. What am I doing? Here. Anyway, it's kind of, there's like plastic right here holding it in place, and it just really sticks in there. If you want to go far enough so that you can close the thing, it's tough to pull out. I'm finding that it's tough to pull out. I think it's easier over time. But anyway, I don't know, it's a decent tool set. Not the best case. It feels kind of like cheaper plastic. But it's got bits in there, and they seem like they're decent. And then that just closes up. It's got a little pocket clip if you're interested. Yeah, not the best case, but the tools seem okay. I haven't used them much, so I don't know how sturdy they are. You also, included in the bundle, you get this knife oil. You can use this the same way that like Microtech suggests, and that's like squirting inside and firing the knife up and down, upside down to clean it out. I use a different method. I use grease on the springs, fluorinated grease on the springs, and then in the locks here, and a little bit on the track where the slides. I use just regular oil, KPL or Gunny Glide I've been using recently. The knife comes, this was for the tool, the pocket tool, like the pry tool comes in that. And I actually meant to take that off my keyring before we got started, but here is the pocket tool. Titanium engraved with the Axial Gear logo, bottle opener, pry bar, pocket clip. It's pretty nice, but they want $50 for this on its own. As nice as it is, I don't know what universe I would pay $50 for that. Although it is nice, and maybe there are some people who would get enough use out of it to make it worth $50. It was included in the bundle, though. What else? Also, in the bundle is the mat that you're seeing here. The mat itself is included in the bundle, and also this little microfiber cloth, which is attached to this little carrying case. It's attached inside. And then, which is kind of neat, because when you're done, you don't have to worry about losing the case or anything. When you're done, you can just stuff that guy right back in there. So that's a pretty cool idea. And it also is kind of embossed with the Axial logo. Yeah. So, there's everything you get in the bundle. Here's the actual box. It's actually pretty nice. It's got like kind of embossed logo there. Open that. It's got a magnet. Looking through here, you've got your unprecedented innovation precision performance card, a instruction booklet. You've got your QC card. Mine was inspected on September 1st by Mr. You got this whole checklist of things, and then you have the actual pouch that the knife came in. So the packaging is pretty nice. It's pretty well done, I would say. Now the key is closing it. That doesn't want to close, does it? Behave yourself, package. I think I got it. Anyway, so there's the packaging. All right, now to the knife itself. This is a review mostly about the knife, but it is actually technically a bundle review as well. Anyway, let's take a look at the knife. The knife, this is the knife. The knife is, we got blade length of about, I got some stuff on here. Blade length of about 3 3/16 inches. Wait, what did I say? Did I say 3? I'm sorry. Yeah, 3 and, I can't count. 3 3/16 inches. And then, so you have the handle length, because of the way it's shaped, it's kind of elongated. So if I go from longest end to longest end, I gotta look outside the camera for a sec. Longest end to longest end, you're looking at a handle length of about 4 gosh, if I go all the way up to here, you're looking at, this is kind of hard to line up. Handle length, just a hair under 5 inches. I mean, it's pretty, we're talking like 4 and 15/16 inches on the handle length. So that's pretty long handle length for how much blade you get. It hasn't bothered me so far. Oh, by the way, that means that we've got an overall length of a little over 8 inches. Overall length of about 8 1/4. For about, what I said, about 3.2 inches of cutting edge or cutting length. So the handle is pretty long, for the blade size. By the way, this is the S35VN version. Here's what's on the blade. You got your S35VN here and your little grooves at the top. It looks like a clip point. It's interesting because this little swedge is curved, but the actual drop on the blade is straight. So I guess it would be a drop point, but it looks more like a clip point. And on this side, you just have the axial. That's all you have on that side. So the ano on it is pretty well done. You've got this nice blue ano, although I can see what looks like some like brush lines on the front. That's not uncommon on OTFs that I've had before. On the bottom side, you've got this kind of recessed like jimping that's actually kind of like inside. But it's actually meaningful jimping. It actually works. It does a pretty good job. The screws are on the clip side. You have 5 clip side screws and then 1 screw on the end of the knife here for the pocket clip. Pocket clip is not reversible. I mean, you could reverse it if you wanted to, but putting on this side, it would stick down this way. So, if you want a funky pocket clip, I guess you could reverse it, but otherwise I think you'd have to get one from Axial. Now, as far as replacement parts and maybe even, a lefty pocket clip, as far as I know, they do offer some replacement parts. I think if you go to the website, you can look and see what types of replacement parts you can get, and they are free, as from what I understand. The other thing about the knife, before I continue here, is that the warranty service, they say it's no BS warranty, meaning that, if it's broken, you can send it in and they'll fix it, probably to within a reasonable amount. If you're prying open paint cans left and right and trying to smack it against rocks and stuff like that, it's probably not going to be covered under warranty. But I think under normal use, if anything breaks, they're pretty much going to fix it for you. They're a smaller company trying to bridge the gap between a $30 Lightning and a $300 Microtech. This S35VN version generally goes for, I think, about 180, or no, maybe about 200, I think. And the 20CV version of this is about 220. So anyway, continuing on with the knife. The actuator switch looks very much like a Microtech switch. It's got this recessed, if you want to call it podium style jimping. It grips very, very well as like a Microtech would. Here's the action. I'm going to fire it a few times. It seems to be a little softer on the deployment and louder on the retraction. It's pretty easy to pull either way, although I want to point out, when I first got it, I deployed it fine, but when I went to pull it back, it was really giving me a hard time. In fact, it was so difficult to retract that I decided to stop because I didn't want to bend anything inside. And I could only do it two-handed. And I'm a pretty big dude. I'm like 6'4", I'm a reasonably strong guy, and I had to do it two-handed to close it. So I ended up opening up the knife, and all I needed to do was, well, for one, it had a very, very slight bit of spring sing. It was more of a vibration that I was feeling rather than hearing. So I did open it up, and I put some fluorinated grease along the springs, and that muted the spring sing or vibration completely. By putting a single drop of Gunny Glide on this lock, the rear lock, and the front lock, that completely eliminated the difficulty that I was having closing the knife. So that eliminated that problem entirely. I've probably fired it maybe 200 times at this point. I've had it for about a week. I fired it maybe 200 times, and at this point, it's starting to break in. It really feels good now, although it's loud. It's just really snappy. It's hard for that to come across in video. If I hold it up to the mic, I don't know how well you can hear that, but it's really loud and crisp. It's actually one of the louder OTFs and snappiest OTFs that I've had, which, you can see that as a good thing. Now, probably most importantly to me is the locks. I just find a lot of people on YouTube don't tend to talk about locks, how the locks are done and how strong they are. The locks on this OTF look about the same size, thickness as a Microtech, which is to say they're good quality locks. They're beefy, they're nice and thick, they're about as thick and about as wide as a Microtech. A knife like I have, like the Phaeton, the locks are really long on both sides, rear and front. They're really long, but on this one, they're more like a Microtech as far as length, maybe about like that, which is good. They're really look like they're strong. The milling is very, very clean and very sharp lines on the inside. I mean, sharp is in terms of accurate. Lines on the inside, and the locks, the small coil springs that hold the locks in place, don't walk around. They're not moving on me even after putting oil in. Everything is really seated well and just looks very high quality. Everything about the knife looks and feels high quality. By the way, I also didn't mention the American flag right here. How cool is that? So anyway, I added the grease on the springs, a little bit of oil inside the locks, and just underneath the, where the slide, between the aluminum and the slide, and a little bit of grease underneath the actual switch. And yeah, it's nice and smooth now. It really feels great. Another thing to point out, the edge, I forget what the thickness behind the edge was. It's not crazy thin, but it's not super thick either. Let me go to inches real quick. Let's see what we got. Let's see if I can do this quickly, because sometimes it's hard to kind of find a good spot, because you end up getting like too far off the behind the edge thickness. Let's see, I'm getting, that can't be right, 24 thousandths. That's not right. Hold on, I can move up a little bit. No, that's not right either. Hold on. 13.5 thousandths. That can't be right. Yeah, that's probably about right. About 19 thousandths behind the edge, at least right there. In case you're curious, we'll also do the blade height. For the blade height, we are looking at about 0.718 inches. The actual handle width, we're looking at 0.987, and the other direction we're looking at, this is kind of just very rough here, 0.457. Blade stock thickness at the thickest point, we are looking at, I can't figure out how to hold this, I'm losing my mind here, 0.19, so 120 thousandths pretty much, blade stock thickness. That's probably about what we're looking at there. Yeah, 120 thousandths. So, anyway, everything about the knife just feels really well done. So they had a coupon code going on a week or two ago when I ordered this. It was Freedom 10. I don't know. I believe that was the coupon code. I don't know if it's still active, but they had a Labor Day sale going on at the time where you could get the entire bundle at a reduced price. They were claiming that the entire bundle is a value of $350. And it was on sale for $200, and with the coupon code, it was 10% off. I got the whole thing, everything you see here, for $180 for the S35VN model. So for $180, I feel like it's a really good deal. I mean, even just for the knife for $180, I feel like would be a really good deal. If I had to paid $350 for all of this, I would have been disappointed. I'll just be flat out. I'll be honest. The Pride tool is really nice. I don't see $50 worth of value for myself. Maybe that's not going to be that way for everybody. Maybe some people really, that's just the best thing ever and it's worth every penny. But for me, for everything that's included, I've already got my own tools. I've got microfiber cloths. I've got my own lubrication I use. It doesn't seem to be worth that much for me. I don't know if $350 is the amount that they're actually asking for that, but that was the value that they claimed it was. But I will say, for $180 or even $200 for the knife is 100% worth it. The other thing I wanted to move on real quick is the sharpness of the blade. I haven't stropped this or anything. I haven't even used it yet, except to maybe test, previously some phone book paper. But here's the edge. It's impressively sharp out of the box. That's a really, really good clean cut. That's very impressive. I don't see a lot of people actually cutting in reviews either. It's a real, real clean cut. So it's great out of the box. The sharpness is very, very good. So anyway, that's kind of what we're looking at. Let me get the blade cleaned off a little bit. I do like the overall design. I like that the knife doesn't tell your fingers where to be, but the jimping falls in logical places. You've got right here, up where you're holding up top. Then you've got your switch, which is going to help you with grip. And then where everything else falls also makes sense. Now, I've got pretty large size hands. I wear an L to XL size glove, and it fits me comfortably. The blade, not super long or anything, but it's definitely long enough for EDC. It's just got a real comfortable feel, and the ano has like a nice kind of matte feel to it, like you would expect from a high quality OTF, like a Microtech, for example. I keep mentioning them, but that's probably about the best comparison. So the ano feels really good. It feels just like it should. Am I glad I bought the knife? Yeah, I'm glad I bought the knife. If I had to do it over again, and if it was going to cost me more than what it did to get the whole bundle deal, I would not have got the bundle deal. But at the price I got it for, which was $180, which is, $20 less than it normally costs, even just to get the knife, I'm happy with what I got. It's absolutely worth the money. Absolutely worth the money. They probably could ask for another $30 to $50 more, and it still would be worth it. I don't know anything about the heat treat. I don't know how good the heat treat is on it. I would have to assume they do a good job. But they're using an OEM. They're not saying who the OEM is, but apparently it's a pretty well-respected OEM. And from what I'm seeing here, the work is very, very good. By the way, as far as how it sits in the pocket, let's do that real quick. The pocket clip does kind of have a little bit of space right here. But for the most part, I think with most pants, it's going to sit right about like that, which is fine. That's great. It gives you just enough to kind of grab onto. It's not super deep, but it's not super shallow either. I think that's fine. But anyway, I do think it's very well made. The action is very good. Ever since I fixed the problem with it not wanting to retract initially, it has never even come close to hiccuping or misfiring or anything even close to that. It's been superb ever since then. Every time I've fired it, it's been reliable. It's been sharp, fast, and loud and clean, just like you'd want. So I don't know if there's anything else I really need to say. If there's anything else you guys want to know, ask me in the comments. I'd be happy to answer any questions that maybe I didn't cover here. But I would definitely have to say I think the dudes at Axial, I think they have something really good on their hands here. I'm just really pleased with the result. I'm glad I bought it. I don't know if it'll actually stay in my collection long term. That remains to be seen. But I'm definitely glad, even if I do end up getting rid of it, I'm really glad I got to experience it and see what it was all about. And, I hope that they have a bright future, because this is, from what I'm seeing, it's a good quality product, time will tell if I end up actually using it. Time will tell how good how well the blade is going to hold up and everything, as far as heat treat and edge retention and everything. But so far, I'm impressed. Yeah, it's great. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up then, y'all. Oh my gosh, I was able to keep this under 20 minutes. Unbelievable. Well, anyway, all right. Well, y'all have a great rest of your week. Whenever you're watching this, be that now or 2 years from now or 10 years from now. And I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much.